Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. Really, really good to be here with all of you today. All right. And it's been just a couple days since we've been on live stream, but we're here and we're talking and we're connecting. And why are we here today? Well, we're here today because I want to approach this topic of more vital life force energy again, because it's really important that we have these kinds of talks and discussions at least 3 4 times a year. um, we have covered mitochondria a little bit before, briefly. We've talked about it, but we're talking about it more in detail, specifically as it relates to the coldness, right? To the cold times. As we notice, maybe sometimes in the summertime, our energy levels can dip, right? Because of that dehydration, because of the constant sweating and the lethargy and the feeling tired. And then even with the timing of the sun, and when we go to sleep, all these different things, these activities that are happening during the summertime, that we tend to expend more energy. And depending on where you live in the world, when it's colder, people tend to reserve more energy. But irregardless of where you are, we want to talk about how you can consistently push to have that more vital life force energy, still with the understanding of how cold can help you. Actually, cold times and the colder weather, how that relates to the mitochondria, as we talked about before. So the mitochondria are the spark and the energy that gives the cells their power, right? All the things that you eat and foods and everything that we do is acting upon that mitochondria. That is the cell's fuel source. And so when we talk about spark of life, we can talk about it in the philosophical sense, but we can also talk about it in the actual literal sense. So there is that energetic spark in the vital life force, right? It's not just a ephemeral and philosophical thing, it's an actual real thing. So energy function is where it's at and what it's going to take to keep us pushing through, especially as we age, as we get towards those late 40s and early 50s and whatnot, and everything in between. And this is the crux of naturopathy and naturopathic medicine. So as we said before, the mitochondria, that's the cell's power source. Okay. And they are responsible for energy conversion. Okay, the literal spark of life. So when we're talking about boosting a more energy, having a more vitality, the question always comes back is this: if we have a slump or a dip or no reserve energy at all, if we find ourselves hitting a crash at 12 noon or 1 or 2, and you haven't exercised, right? Because when you exercise earlier in the morning, there's a different kind of wall that people hit where they may feel tired. But if it's not that, and you are just feeling that way regularly all the time, definitely this might be a sign that the way we're living and maybe the foods that we're eating are off. First things first, getting to that nutrition. Some of the best foods to build on that mitochondria are the avocados, right? And they also have those healthy fats, seeds, nuts, all your green vegetables. Now, be mindful if you deal with oxalates and you're concerned about spinach and kales and collard greens and things like that. Just be mindful of that. Making sure you're having a way to detox and sweat those out of your system. And all your cruciferous vegetables, right? Your broccolis, your cauliflowers, your Brussels sprouts, your cabbages, right? These things are critical. And now I'm even been adding, right, the bitter melon to this mix because they're so healing, and that bitter pungent taste is the physical manifestation of the fact that that is having a healing purging effect on your body. Those foods unlock the ATP, right? Adenosine triphosphate. And that ATP is what gets it going, what pushes the movement on. Once that movement gets pushed on and it goes on a little bit deeper, then that's hitting our heart area. Okay. And if we're eating foods that contain the CoQ10, so we're having that ATP for more of a thrust, and now that heart power together. So now it's creating this cyclical energy motion, if you will. It's a balance and it's a motion, and it's like an inner chemical blending and merging. So in this colder time of the year, don't shy away from eating those kinds of foods, right? Because the coldness in itself can push for more energy, but when you add the healing foods to it, that can help out even a little bit more. Okay, so the key: feed the mitochondria first, and then look for the energy to follow. But it's something we need to do regularly, right? It's just not a one-off thing that we do here and there, right? Build up that energy for life. Build it for life. Okay. Some might be asking, okay, I get that. I'm with the vegetables. I'm with the cruciferous. I get it about the CoQ10. I get it about the heart. What are some other things that I can do to boost up my mitochondrial function? Well, believe it or not, getting that high intensity interval training or HIIT, that's been shown to boost up mitochondrial function. So if you're doing things like that at the gym, and let's say you're doing strength training, throw in a quick, right, all out mile or half a mile or something, just to speed up that heart as it gets going. And that's going to allow more blood flow to circulate and to keep pushing on. More cold air and cold water exposure. All right, more cold air, more cold water exposure. That allows brown fat to burn. And when we burn off more brown fat, that allows the healthier fats to come in and do their jobs. Okay. That speeds up the cellular level energy process. Things like massages, that reduces oxidative stress and breaks down literal pathogens and toxins out of the body. That detoxifies sediment and moves minerals down the cellular path to actually do what they need to do. Okay. These are just a couple of things. We'll talk about some more at another time. But the key is, remember, everything starts from the inside, then out, right? Inside first, outside, working its way. And then it gets to a point where you can't differentiate the two. Okay. Every life function, every thought, every method of breath, every step that we take on this path is either building up our mitochondria or taking it to a level, a lower level, which is something we've talked about before. So, again, nutrition, always the first, getting that high intensity interval training, things like massages, and even calming uh, the body down through things like mindfulness yoga will always be very, very, very helpful. Okay. So how to get the power, how to get the energy, how to build the power is necessary. These are the necessary steps we take, and we'll keep going from there. Great seeing all of you again. Dr. Scott here, Nature's First Path. We'll get together live again. Peace. And welcome to those who just joined us. And we'll have the stream out again soon. Take care.